Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Play presented by Motorola. In this week's episode, we're going to look at our match against FlyQuest from Sunday and see what went into us losing control of the third dragon and ultimately losing the game. Let's get into it. We're going to jump into this video at 30 seconds before the third dragon, and this is a really crucial part in this game for a few reasons. What we can expect to be the strongest point in the game for our competition. We should definitely have done better in this game at securing the drakes preceding this. Notice that FlyQuest actually has 2 drakes and we only have 1, but we should reasonably expect to have 2, likely 3 when you compare our draft to FlyQuest. So we definitely weren't executing well in the early game, and we're sort of on a timer this game because Corki is one of the pieces of FlyQuest comp that is really outscaling us. So this drake is absolutely crucial, and again, a lot of times what goes into these dragons is the setup. So take a look at our vision setup here. I've talked about this before in previous videos, but one of the most important things when it comes to vision setup before the dragon is control of this box that you can make here with the line bush, pixel bush, and then this banana bush, as well as the ledge here. And you can kind of see it on the other side as well. This pink ward here from FlyQuest is doing good work clearing our deep ward, and also we don't have as much control of this part of the map as I would like to see. With that, let's see. So right here, this pink ward comes down, giving them some temporary vision, and notice that this could be an engage for us. When you're holding a setup before an objective, like, you have 2 options. Either you just hold your setup and you use it to poke, if you have like a poke composition where you're using the vision to land your skills, and the other option is you hard engage from your setup. So for us, when this Trundle is face checking our setup, we really have to go on him and start the fight. Again, we can just see, let's go back just 5 seconds and kind of watch it build up again. So FlyQuest really has no choice. They have to face check somewhere. They're going to face check with the Trundle. He comes over right now and boom. So right here, this can very well be Nautilus hook onto the Trundle and then a Nautilus ulti onto either Ash or Corki. If we Nautilus ult the Corki here, we're likely going to force his package, which is pretty crucial, especially before this dragon fight. If we Nautilus ult the Ash off of the hook onto the Trundle, then we can force his flash. So I think that the Nautilus ulti on Corki makes the most sense here. Bang is definitely in range to follow up with, just he can shift in if he wants to, he can ultimate. We should have our Cinder right here as well with his spells up, ready to combo with the Nautilus hook and land his Scatter the Weak onto the Corki or onto the Ash. Probably just something like, you know, Q, W, maybe even ulting the Trundle while he's hooked and then getting like a big AoE stun onto the backline targets here would be fine. But we need to engage off of this face check. If we're not engaging off of a face check, then holding the setup with your body really has no point. So here, notice we've used Scatter of the Weak, it's down. We haven't used Hook yet, so we're not really comboing our spells together. Dodge the arrow, which is great, but we need to hit this pink ward. Like, finally Goldenglue is hitting the pink ward, but we need to clear that. And again, we don't have any vision of this. We don't have this pink ward cleared. You know, at this point, they have no vision of this area, but we could be sneaking in here, looking for hooks and stuns together and some kind of engage over here. But again, because of the package, it's tricky for us to execute here. Another word for vision for them, and again, they just have so much control over this area from this pink. Just like that, since we haven't engaged from our setup yet, they're slowly taking control back, right? Like, this word is disabled, but this word isn't, giving them some really nice vision here. Again, we're getting control over the mid wave, but they still have control over this, and they might even have vision here at this point. But now let's see what FlyQuest have done. They had flipped down and they had actually gotten through our setup. They made it through Banana, made it through Pixel, and they'd actually established downside control of the dragon. And this is a really nice angle here from PoE. He's cutting the fight perfectly, leaving Svenskeren in the front, but leaving our backline sort of disconnected. But also, if they didn't choose to do this, FlyQuest could have simply just taken downside control of the dragon. They could have all moved down this way. They could have pulled the dragon out to here. And that would be in a pretty advantageous position for them as well, where no longer would we be engaging from a setup, would be forced to sort of run at them downriver and fish for some kind of engage this way. So big problems here for us. We're letting FlyQuest through our setup without ever landing a hard engage ability from our setup. Rumble ulti comes across, which is nice. You could argue it's slightly misplaced, but still the idea here is nice. But this package is just a better Rumble ulti in this team fight, and it's totally zoning everybody else from Sven. And Svenskeren is hooked, chain CC'd after his ulti. Now we can finally make it through the package, but it's just too little too late at this point. And not only is Zeyzal half HP and we lost our jungler, but look, they're gonna get our pink ward right here, and they're going to get the downside control, and now we're forced to really contest this dragon from a 4v5 situation. Bang is still full HP, PoE is low, but he has TP. He's gonna base and TP back with full HP. Mentor's taking a bit of damage here, but really, as the TP comes through, as they use the blue orb on Huni, he's essentially forced out and he's no longer able to really do anything here in this position. Now, 4v5 here at the Dragon for us. Is it contestable? Probably not. I don't think we're ever in any position to win this fight 4v5. And if you look at the shape here, again, FlyQuest is a really nice shape. They have solo on the Dragon. PoE is very safe here with Ignar, landing these big rockets. Really nice burst damage from him on these. This is probably, what, 600, maybe 700 magic damage here across our carries. So this was a really nice big one there from PoE. And after this rocket, I think that we no longer even have a hope of contesting. I don't really think we did in the first place. But these are some nice rockets for PoE. Ignar forces the shift from Bang, and really the only thing we can do here is look for a steal. But there's really, nothing doing there. FlyQuest, pretty easy for them to control this. And another big one from PoE, and then that's the third Dragon. And again, we talked about this a little bit, but our team composition really wanted to be able to secure these Dragons. Without a Dragon Snowball, I think that Corki's going to get to his 3-item fantasy and sort of be an unstoppable monster in this game. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do enough in the beginning of this game to actually secure the first two. But even still, I think that if we got this Dragon, maybe we were in a position to win this game. We go on to have a nice play around Baron, which if we got the Baron, I think we would be in a position to start snowballing. But again, some of the major problems here with this is we don't have full control over the setup, right? So we haven't denied the vision from here. Sometimes this is hard to do, this pink ward. It's really easy for them to defend, but we at least should have some kind of better vision denial of this banana bush here. And then the other thing is we're not engaging from our setup correctly. So let's go back even further and take a look at this again. But once you get a vision setup, you have to hard engage from it. Otherwise, there's really no point. And right here, we have the vision denial. We're going to force a face check here. And right there, that has to be fight started on our terms. Nautilus hook into some kind of Nautilus ulti, likely on the Corki, force the package away, take line, take banana, take pixel, get a ward here, maybe even get a ward here if we have it in our sidestone, and then immediately fall back to the Dragon and start this. But one of the most important things when you're using a vision setup to get an objective, when you're playing a hard engaged composition or a composition that doesn't have a lot of poke or other zone control abilities to hold your setup, is you have to engage first and you have to use your spells together. So right here, we didn't go first and we don't use our spells together either. Notice that the Nautilus hook hasn't been used and the Syndra stun is used on a target where Nautilus can't follow up with hook. So because of this, we're forced to lose our setup here. FlyQuest just kind of works their way in again. Notice this hook on the package target, but again, the Syndra isn't in place to follow up and use her spells with the Nautilus. And here, after about 20 more seconds, the next mid wave comes. We go for the mid wave. FlyQuest chooses to sacrifice the mid wave in exchange for some downside control. And as we see this now, FlyQuest has moved through the zone. They have controlled banana. Lanterns FlyQuest for easy tempo, and here they go. Downside control, we're topside control. FlyQuest splits the fight with package, and right here, fight's over. And with that, that concludes this week's episode of Diary of a Play presented by Motorola. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and leave a comment down below for exactly what you guys want to see next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, I hope you learned something new and enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you next week.